in the heart of the ancient kingdom of Baza, nestled in the lush hills of Adamawa State, Nigeria, lived a princess named Amina. Baza was known for its vibrant culture, rich traditions, and scenic beauty, with vast landscapes that stretched as far as the eye could see. The kingdom thrived under the wise rule of King Zubairu and Queen Camilla, whose lineage had presided over Baza for generations. Amina was the pride and joy of the royal family. Her beauty was legendary. A skin like the smoothest ebony and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. From a young age, she was the darling of Baza, beloved by all for her grace and kindness. However, there was one aspect of Amina that overshadowed her many virtues: her body odor. Despite her numerous baths and the finest perfumes from distant lands, Amina's strong body odor persisted. The palace healers tried countless remedies, but nothing could mask the scent. This peculiar trait isolated her, as people often kept their distance despite her charm and benevolence. As Amina grew older, the pressure to find a suitor mounted. Her parents, though supportive, were anxious for their daughter's future. Suitors came from far and wide, drawn by tales of her beauty and royal status. However, each left disillusioned, unable to endure the overpowering smell that clung to her presence. One day, a grand festival was held in Baza to celebrate the kingdom's prosperity. It was an event of immense significance, where neighboring kings, princes, and dignitaries were invited. Among the guests was Prince Ibrahim from the neighboring kingdom of Mubi. Known for his wisdom and bravery, Ibrahim was revered by many. His presence at the festival stirred excitement among the people of Baza. Amina, draped in royal regalia and adorned with the finest jewels, attended the festival with a heavy heart. She had long ceased to hope that any man could look beyond her odor to see the person she truly was. Yet, as she moved gracefully among the guests, she noticed Prince Ibrahim, observing her from a distance. Unlike others, he did not recoil or look away. Intrigued, Ibrahim approached Amina and introduced himself. They spoke at length about their kingdoms, shared interests and dreams. Ibrahim was captivated by Amina's intellect and compassion. He noticed the odor but chose to focus on her words and the warmth of her character. As the festival drew to a close, Ibrahim requested a private audience with King Zubairu. In the royal chambers, he expressed his admiration of Amina and his desire to know her better. King Zubairu, though cautious, welcomed Ibrahim's intentions, but warned him of the challenges his daughter faced. Undeterred, Ibrahim pledged to return to Baza and spend time with Amina, promising to look beyond her exterior and seek the heart within. His sincerity touched the king, who gave his blessing. The next few weeks saw Ibrahim frequently visiting Baza. He and Amina spent hours walking through the palace gardens, discussing various topics and growing closer. Ibrahim's genuine interest and respect for Amina began to break down her walls of insecurity. Meanwhile, rumors spread throughout the kingdom. The people of Baza, initially skeptical, began to see a glimmer of hope for their beloved princess. The royal court, however, remained divided. Some advisors feared the implication of such a union, while others supported it. hoping for Amina's happiness. One evening, as the sun set over the hills of Baza, Ibrahim took Amina to a secluded spot overlooking the kingdom. There he revealed a small vial of a special concoction he had acquired from a renowned healer in Mubi. It was said to neutralize the strongest of odors. With her consent, he applied the potion to her skin, and miraculously the smell began to dissipate. Amina was overwhelmed with gratitude and hope. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of her affliction lift. Abraham's unwavering support and the success of the potion marked a new beginning for her. In the days that followed, the kingdom buzzed with excitement. The news of Amina's transformation spread like wildfire. Festivities were planned, and the royal family prepared for a grand announcement. Despite the initial success of the potion, Amina soon realized that the battle was far from over. The potion's effect was temporary, and her odor would return if not reapplied regularly. Moreover, the scarcity of the ingredients made it difficult to procure in large quantities. This revelation cast a shadow over her newfound happiness. Ibrahim, ever the optimist, assured Amina that they will find a permanent solution together. He suggested embarking on a journey to seek the wisdom of distant lands and renowned healer. Amina, though hesitant to leave her kingdom, agreed, driven by the hope of a lasting remedy. Before their departure, King Zubairo held a council meeting. The elders and advisors gathered to discuss the implications of Amina and Ibrahim's journey. While some voiced concerns about the dangers and the uncertainties, others supported the decision, believing it would bring a solution and strengthen ties between Baza and Mubi. Amina and Ibrahim set out on their quest, accompanied by a small entourage of trusted guards and advisors. Their journey took them through dense forests, across vast deserts, and into bustling cities. Along the way, they encountered various cultures and traditions, each offering unique insights and remedies. In the kingdom of Hong, they met a renowned herbalist named Balarabe, known for his extensive knowledge of rare plants and potions. Balarabe welcomed them and listened intently to their plights. He offered them a mixture made from the petals of a rare flower found only in the depths of the Gongola forest. The potion, he claimed, had the power to cleanse impurities from within. With renewed hope, Amina and Ibrahim ventured into the Gongola forest. Guided by Balarabe's instructions, the journey was perilous, with wild animals and treacherous terrain testing their resolve. Amina and Ibrahim's journey into the Gongola forest was fraught with danger and mystery. The dense canopy overhead blocked much of the sunlight, creating an eerie twilight even at midday. The air was thick with the sounds of the forest, the calls of unseen birds, the rustle of leaves, and the distant roar of waterfall. Guided by Balarabe's instructions, they followed a narrow, winding path deeper into the forest. Their party consisted of Amina, Ibrahim, two trusted guides named Umaru and Binta, and a wise old advisor named Waziri. Each carried supplies and weapons to protect themselves from the wild beasts that roamed the forest. On the third day of their journey, they reached a clearing where they decided to set a camp. As night fell, they gathered around a fire, sharing stories and strategizing for their next day. Ibrahim noticed Amina's unease and reassured her, holding her hands and promising that they will find the elusive flower. The following morning, they set out again, crossing streams and climbing over fallen trees. By noon, they reached the heart of the forest, a place Balaraba had described as the flower's habitat. The area was lush with vegetation, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. It was Winter who spotted the red flower first. Its vibrant petals glowed in the dappled sunlight, and he stood alone, surrounded by a bed of thick moss. Amina and Ibrahim approached it cautiously. Ibrahim gently plucked the flower, careful not to damage the delicate structure. The group cheered softly, feeling a wave of relief as they made their way back to the camp. Their path was blocked by a group of bandits, led by a fearsome woman named Zainab. The bandits demanded that they hand over their valuables. Ibrahim, ever the diplomat, tried to negotiate, offering gold in exchange for safe passage. Zainab, however, was more interested in the rare flower. Recognizing its value, she demanded they hand it over. Amina, determined not to lose the precious bloom, stepped forward. She spoke with a conviction that surprised even herself, telling Zainab about their quest and the importance of the flower. Moved by Amina's story, Zainab persisted. She saw the sincerity in Amina's eye and desperation in her voice. After a tense moment, she decided to let them pass, warning them to be cautious of the forest's many dangers. Back at the camp, the group celebrated their victory. They prepared to leave the forest and return to home, where Balarebe would create the potion from the flower. Amina and Ibrahim shared a quiet moment, reflecting on their journey and the bond that had grown between them. Upon returning to home, Balarebe welcomed them with open arms. He took the flower and set to work, meticulously preparing the potion. It took several days, during which Amina and Ibrahim stayed in the herbalist's home, assisting him and learning more about the healing arts. As the potion neared completion, Balarebe explained its properties. Unlike the temporary concoctions of the past, this potion will cleanse Amina's body from within, neutralizing the odor permanently. However, it required a strict regime, including specific herbs and rituals to maintain its effectiveness. The day finally arrived for Amina to take the potion. Balarebe handed her a beautifully carved wooden cup filled with a fragrant liquid. With a mixture of hope and trepidation, Amina drank it down. The potion was surprisingly sweet, with a hint of bitterness. As the days flowed, Amina felt a gradual change. Her skin glowed with a new vitality, and the persistent odor began to fade. Ibrahim and others marveled at the transformation. For the first time, Amina felt free from the burden that had plagued her for so long.